Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our third session for the solution of SSC CGL paper 2013. In the last two sessions, we have solved 40 questions. In this session, we are going to take more 20 questions, and you just be ready with your paper and pen and start solving the problems right with me. Okay, so let's begin the session. Now see this question. On selling 17 balls at rupees 720, there is a loss equal to the cost price of 5 balls. What is the cost price of a single ball? Right? Now here in this case, we are having a loss of cost price of 5 balls. So what I assume is the price, cost price cost price of one ball is X rupees. Right? Now cost price of 17 balls will be 17X rupees. So 17X rupees is the cost price. Okay, and cost price minus loss, right? Cost price of 5 balls will be what? 5x, right? So this is cost price minus loss is equal to selling price. Now selling price is what? 720, right? So 17x minus 5x, 12x is 720. That means x is 60 rupees. That is the cost price of one ball, right? So that's quite simple. Now this question. The distance between place A and B is 999 km. An express train leaves place A at 6 a.m. and runs at the speed of 55.5 km per hour. The train stops on the way for 1 hour 20 minutes. It reaches B. Okay, so we'll take 1 hour 20 minutes into consideration afterwards. First of all, we just try to find out how much time will it take if it doesn't stop anywhere, right? Now 999 km and the speed is 55.5 km per hour. So it must take 18 hours, right? If it doesn't stop anywhere, right? That means after 6 a.m. 18 hours, that means 6 p.m. okay, and then 12 midnight, right? So 12 midnight if it doesn't stop anywhere, right? Now but it stops in the way for 1 hour 20 minutes. That means we have to add 1 hour 20 minutes over here. So 12 midnight, that means 1 hour 20 minutes we have to add, so it will be 1:20 a.m. right? So that's pretty simple. Now this question. A boy walks from his house to school at the rate of 4 km per hour. He reaches the school 10 minutes earlier than the scheduled time. However, if he walks at the rate of 3 km per hour, he reaches 10 minutes late. Find the distance of the school from his time. Now what I assume the distance is x kilometer. Right? Now if x kilometer he is walking at the rate of 4 km per hour, he will take this much time. Right? Now the same distance if he is walking at the rate of 3 km per hour, he will take this much time. Right? Now what is the difference? This is the time and this is also the time, but what is the difference between these two time is 10 minutes earlier and 10 minutes late. That means the mutual difference is actually 20 minutes. Okay, between these two. Right? So minutes, I'll just convert that to hours because this calculation, the distance calculation, I'm going to take in kilometer, right? So 20 by 60, that's 1 by 3, right? So 4x minus 3x, x by 12 is 1 by 3. That means x is equal to 4 km. That means the distance is 4 km, right? No need to go for any lengthy equations or just twisted calculation. It's just simple. If at all you make the equation, it will not take more than 30 seconds of yours, right? Now this problem from trains. Two trains are running 40 km per hour and 20 km per hour respectively in the same direction. The fast train completely passes a man sitting in the slow train in 5 seconds. What is the length of the faster train? Okay. See, in this case, the faster train is crossing a moving person, right? We don't have to consider the length of the slower train because the faster train is crossing a person, that a person sitting in the slow train, and this person is also moving in the same direction, right? So we don't have to consider the length of the smaller train. Okay. So in case of train, we have to consider the length of, in this particular case, we have to consider the length of this larger train, and that only we have to find out. So suppose this is L, right? Now it is also moving and it is also moving, and this is moving at the 40 kilometer per hour, and this person, right, who is sitting in the slow train is moving at the rate of 20 kilometer per hour, right? Now both of them are moving in the same direction. That means the relative speed will be 20 kilometer per hour, right? Now distance is equal to speed is equal to distance by time. So this is speed. Distance in this case will be nothing but the length of this train, right? Because this person has to cross the entire length, or this train has to cross this person, right? So the entire length of this train will be crossed. Okay, so length and distance, both of them will be same, and in this case the distance will be nothing but the length of the bigger train or fast train, right? Okay, after that, time is 5 seconds, and if I divide this kilometer per hour, if I convert it to meter per second, I have to multiply it by 5 by 18. Okay, so now it is converted into meter per second. Okay, so length of the train will be 250 by 9 meter. Okay, so that you can see from the options. You can check 9 sevens are 63 plus 7 unit digit is 0, so that's 250 by 9, right? So that's pretty simple. I hope you are clear. Now the compound interest on 5,000 for rupees 5,000 for 3 years at 10% per annum. Now directly we can use the formula for compound interest, that is 5,000 1.1 cube minus 1, right? So 1.1 cube, that is 11 cube is 1331. So 1.331 minus 1, that means 5,000 into 0.331. Precisely this is your calculation, right? So 5,51655, right? Pretty simple. Matter of 20-25 seconds, not more than that. Now see this question. Three sets of 40, 50 and 60 students appeared for an examination, and the pass percentage was 100, 90 and 80 respectively. The pass percentage of the whole set. Okay, now that's pretty simple. 40 student and the percentage is 100. So the total will be 40 into 100. We can say 4,000. Right? Similarly, 50 students, pass percentage is 90. So the total will be 4500. Similarly, 60 into 80, 4800. So the total is 12,000 and 13,300. Right? This is the total. Okay. Now since we have to find out the pass percentage of the whole set, that means precisely we have to find out the average, right? Or we can say arithmetic mean. Now the total number of students is 40, 50 and 60, that is 150. Okay. So this is the calculation that we have to make. Okay, so that's 3 8s are 24, then 2 3 6 are 18, 80, 88, then our remainder is 2, so it is 88 2 by 3, right? Now, if a certain distance is covered by a cyclist at a certain speed, if a jogger covers half the distance in double the time, the ratio of the speed of the jogger to that of cycle. Now, speed is equal to distance by time, right? Now, in case of this jogger, he is covering half the distance. So, the distance is d by 2 and is taking double the time, right? So, this is actually d by 4t. In the earlier case it was d by t. So the speed of jogger will be 1/4 of the cyclist, right? So the speed of jogger to cyclist is 1:4. Okay. Now a problem on compound interest. If a sum of money compounded annually becomes 1.44 times of itself in 2 years, then the rate of interest per annum, right? Now suppose you are having 100 rupees and after 2 years it is 144 rupees, right? Now 144 is nothing but 12 square. right? That means the interest rate must be 20%. You can check it very well. 100 into 1.2 square. Okay, so that's 100 into 1.44, that is 144 rupees. Okay, so pretty simple. If you know the square of 12, if you know the square of 13, if you know the square of 11, these sort of problems based on compound interest will be very easy to do, right? If you see 1.44, then 20% of the interest rate. If you see 1.69, then 30% interest rate is there. If you see 1.96, then 40% interest rate is there. If you see 1.21, then 11% interest rate is there. So that's pretty simple if you know the squares of these basic numbers, right? Now this problem, a right circular cone is 3.6 centimeter high and the radius of the base is 1.6 centimeter. It is melted and recast into a right circular cone with radius of the base is 1.2 and the height of the cone we have to find out. Now friends, whenever you are solving these sort of problems based on mensuration, if one body converts to other, right, whether it is cone to cone, cone to cylinder, cylinder to cone, cone to sphere, sphere to cone, maybe cube, cuboid, any conversion, see, volume will always remain same. That is the basic funda, right? Now here in this case, one cone is getting converted to other, right? Now what is the volume of a cone? That is 1 upon 3 pi r square h, right? In both the cases, R and H will be different, right? So what I do, I just equate the volume. So 1 upon 3 pi, since it is constant, so I will not take them into consideration. I'll just start calculating with R square and H, right? So initially R is 1.6, so that is 1.6 square into H. H is 3.6. So this is the volume part of the first cone. Now if it is converted to other cone, the volume will remain same. 1 upon 3 pi I cancel from both the side. Now in other case, the radius is 1.2 square, right? And height we have to find out, right? So we are equating volume of both the cones. Okay, now remove this, remove this. Now this is 4 into 4 and this is 3 into 3, that's 9, right? So 9 4s are 36. So this is 4 into 4 into 4, that is 64 by 10. 6.4 will be the height of the other cone. Okay, simple. Okay, now the area of a rectangle is thrice that of a square. The length of rectangle is 20 centimeter and the breadth of the rectangle is 3 by 2 times that of the side of the square. The side of the square that we have to find out. Now I assume the side of the square to be x, right? So what will be the area of the rectangle? That is 20 into the breadth of the rectangle is 3 by 2 times the side of the square. Side of the square I assume x, so the breadth of the rectangle will be 3 by 2 x. Now this is the area of the rectangle, right? Now area of the rectangle is thrice that of the square, right? What is the area of the square? Since the side is x, the area will be x square and the rectangle's area is thrice of square, right? So that's pretty simple. I put up the values. Now just solve it, right? So what is the side of the square? 10. Very simple, matter of 20 seconds only. Now what sum will give you rupees 244 as the difference between simple interest and compound interest at 10% in 1.5 year compounded half yearly? Okay, now what I assume the amount to be x, right? Now in a 1.5 year at 10% per annum, simple interest will be 15%, right? 10% for full year and 5% for half year, right? So the simple interest will be 0.15x. Okay, that is 15% of x, right? Now what will be the compound interest? That is 5% per 6 months. So 3 times it will be compounded. So it will be 1.05 whole cube minus 1 and the amount was x, right? Now the difference between this and this is 244, right? So I just write it over here. I can take x as common. So it is 1.05 cube minus 1 minus 0.15. So it's minus 1.15. 15x, and that is actually 244. Okay, now we have to solve this equation. Now obviously it will be difficult for us to solve this 1.05 cube. So what I do, I just try to find out the digital root because it is 4, 6, 5, 9 and 1, right? So we can match the digital root because it is unique over here. Now this is multiple of 6, that means the digital root will be 9 minus 5, 6, 7. So the digital root is 2, okay, of this calculation. So 2x, and here the digital root is 4 and 4. 8 and 2, 10, right? Now I have to choose one number from the options that when multiplied by 2 gives the digital root as 1, right? So 2 4s are 8, and here 6 digital root will be 9 if it is already multiple of 9. 3 and 2 5 into 2 10, right? So this will be the correct choice, as 32 will give the digital root as 5. Now 5 into this 2, the digital root will be 10. So, and 10, that means the final digital root is 1, that is of right hand side. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Instead of making big calculation, instead of trying to solve this equation, just go for digital root method. Okay, so you'll be able to solve the problem in less than a minute. Now let's see this problem. A sum of rupees 3200 invested at 10% per annum compounded quarterly amounts to 3362. Compute the time period. Now that's pretty simple. Options are quite far from each other. So what I do is I just calculate the interest for half year, right? So it's 10% per annum. That means for half year, if it is simple interest, it will be 160 rupees, right? Now since it is compound interest, it will be something more than 160 rupees, right? So it can be around 162 rupees. That is the difference between 3200 and 3362, right? That is 162 rupees, and the other options are quite far from this. Okay, so simple, half year, no paperwork is required at all. Now the diagonal of a rhombus are 12 and 16, the length of one side. See, the diagonals of rhombus bisect each other, right? So this will be the situation. The total length is 12, that means half of the length is 6 and half of this length is 8, right? And this will be the side of the rhombus, right? So we know 6, 8 and 10, they are Pythagorean triplet, right? So in 20 seconds you can solve this problem very easily. That will be nothing but the length of the rhombus, that will be hypotenuse of this right angle triangle, right? So very basic fundamental concept, right? Now a rectangular block of metal has dimensions this. The block has been melted into a sphere. The radius of the sphere, take pi is 20 by 2 by 7. Now once again, we have already discussed this sort of problems. When one body is converted to other, the volume will remain same, right? So we can easily equate the volume, right? So what will be the volume of rectangular block? That is 21 into 77 into 24, and it is converted to a sphere. So what will be the volume of the sphere? That is 4 upon 3 pi r cube, right? Now let's solve it. 11 7 11 2. Now this is 8 and this is 3. So we have 21 into this, 21 into this, 21. So that is r cube. No need to multiply. R cube is 21 cube. That means r is 21, right? Pretty simple. Now this question, friends, here HC and B are respectively the height, curve, surface area and volume of a right circular cone. We have to find out the value of this expression. Now listen to me carefully. The value of this expression is irrespective of any variable, right? You can see the answer is, all the options are constant values, right? That means the value of this expression is finally independent of V and H and C, right? So whatever the value of V, H and C are assumed, they will give the same answer, right? So what I do, I assume a right angle triangle. See, cone is always in the shape of right angle triangle. So I assume the radius to be 3, height of this cone to be h, then automatically the slant height will be 5 because all of them form a right angle triangle. Okay, now height is 4, radius is 3, curved surface area is what? Pi RL. So that's pi R is 3 and L is 5. So the curved surface area is 15 pi. Now volume is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. So pi r square into h. So that is 12 pi. So volume is 12 pi and the curved surface area is 15 pi, right? Now I put up the value of each variable in this expression. Let's see what happens. So 3 pi, V is what? 12 pi, and h cube that means 4 into 4 into 4, okay, minus c square is 15 into 15 pi square. I take pi square as common. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that is 15 pi square, and h square, that is 4 into 4 plus 9. V square, V is what? 12 pi. So 12 into 12, and pi square I have already taken as common, right? Now we just have to make this calculation. Let's see what happens. I take 4 into 4 and 3 as common, right? So 4 into 4, that is 16 into 3, 48 will be common. So here in the bracket 12 into 4, 48 minus 4 into 4 into 3 is common. So 15 into 3, 45 is left, plus 4 into 4 into 3 is gone. 3 into 4 into 4 is gone. So I left with 3 into 3 into 3. So that's 27. Okay. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I took 4 into 4 into 3 as common. So 4 into 4 into 3, so 15 into 5, it will be 75, right? So 48 plus 27 minus 75, it will be 0, right? So the entire calculation is 0. So the problem becomes simple, and I'm sorry for the calculation error. The problem becomes simple if you put up the comfortable values of the variable, right? And for right circular cone, you can easily assume the values. You just have to assume the height and radius of this cone. Automatically you'll be able to get the slant height, right? Because all of them form a right angle triangle, right? So the answer is 0. Now this question again on mensuration. The volume of a conical tent is this and the area of the base is this. Find the length of the canvas required to build the tent if the canvas is 2 meter into width. We need to find out the length of the canvas, okay? Bit lengthy. Volume of conical tent is this. That means 1 upon 3 pi r square h is this, and pi r square, that is the area of the base, is this, right? So 1 upon 3 pi r square h is 1232 by pi r square 154, right? So h is equal to this into 3, right? Now both of them are multiple of 22 because 4 and 4, yes, right? So 154 directly will cut 8 times. So h is equal to 24, right? That means the height of the conical tent is 24. Now pi r square is 154, that is the base area. So 22 by 7 into r square is 154. So r will be 7. Now r is 7, h is 24, that means L, that the slant height will be 25 because 7, 24 and 25 are Pythagorean triplets, right? Now we got all the dimensions. And see, conical tent, this is the shape, right? So we need the amount of the cloth, that is the canvas, is actually the nothing but the curved surface area of this cone, right? So what is the curved surface area? That is pi r L. So pi r is 7 and L is 25, right? So this is the area that is required, and if we divide this area by width, we will be knowing the length, right? Area by width is length. Okay, so that is 275 meters, right? Not difficult, but bit lengthy. Yes, it will take a minute to solve this problem. I hope you are getting it, but worth solving. Assume that a drop of water is spherical and its diameter is 1/10 of a centimeter. A conical glass has height equal to diameter of its rim. If 32,000 drops of water fill the glass completely, then the height of the glass in centimeter. Now drop of a water is spherical, okay, and its diameter is 1/10 of a centimeter. That means the diameter is diameter is 1/10 of a centimeter. That means radius will be 1/20 centimeter. That is the radius of this droplet, right? Now a conical glass has height equal to diameter of its rim, right? So height is equal to diameter. So I assume the radius to be r, okay, of this conical. So radius, I take suppose this is r1, I take the radius as r2. So the radius of this cone is r2 and height will be equal to diameter, so height will be 2r2. Okay, now what is happening? This conical glass, if 32,000 drops of water fill the glass completely, then the height of the glass. Now this glass is nothing but the conical, right? So what is the volume of a cone? That is 1/3 pi r square. R square here r2 square, and h here it is 2r2, right? So this is the volume of the cone, right? Now this is equal to 32,000 drops, right? So what is the volume of one drop? That is 4/3 pi r square, r cube, I'm sorry. So 1/20 into 1/20 into 1/20, right? So that is, here it is 1/3 pi r square into h. H is 2r2, okay? So here it is 4/3 pi r cube. So volume of both of them will be equal and into this 32,000, because this is the volume of one drop. So the total volume of 32,000 drops will be this much, right? Now we have to solve this equation and we have to get the value of R2, right? So pi and pi is cancelled, 3 and 3 is cancelled, and here I take this 2 and this is 2. So R2 cube, listen to me carefully, here it is R2 cube and here it is 32,000 is in the numerator and this is in the denominator. 0 0 0 0 0 0 4 and this is 8. So R2 cube is 8, that means R2 is 2. That means the radius of this conical glass is 2, that means height will be 4. Okay, bit lengthy but not at all difficult, worth solving. It will take a minute to solve, but yes, worth solving. Okay, now this problem, the area of an equilateral triangle is 9√3 meters square. What is the length of the median? See, in case of an equilateral triangle, median and the perpendicular from any vertex to other side will be same, right? So this is altitude as well as median. Okay, now what is the area of an equilateral triangle? That is √3/4 side square. So this is √3/4 side square. √3 is cancelled. Side square is 9 into 4, that means side is 3 into 2, that is 6. That means this must be 3. Okay, so this is perpendicular and as well as median. So we have to find out its length. So that is this square minus this square is equal to this square, right? So 36 minus 9, that is 27. That is median square. So that is 27 is 9 into 3. That is median square. So median will be 3√3, right? A 30-second problem. Okay. Now if each edge of a cube is increased by 50%, the percentage increase in surface area is. Now these sort of problems we have already discussed in our basic percentage session, right? Now what I assume, since I need to find out the increase in surface area will be dependent on side, right? Basically the surface area of a cube is 6L square, but 6 is constant, so we don't have to consider that, right? So side into side is side square, right? Now side is increased by 50%, that means the new side is 15. Okay, now it is 225. So from 100 to 225 the increase is 125, and since we are taking the increase from 100, so that's a percentage increase will remain same, so it is 125%. A 20-second question. Okay.